So what we're going to get at over here now is some of your favorite lines. What are some of your favorite ones? Ones that keep you inspired.
Being not unhappy doesn't mean you're happy. Yeah, it's quite deep if you think about it. If you're not unhappy, it doesn't mean you're happy either. So I think we got to evaluate our happiness at the end of the year. It's not how successful you've been, it's how happy you've been. And I was just talking to Nigel about this, where being right doesn't always make you happy.
Right. Okay, explain that. Elaborate a little bit about being right.
Well, if you love somebody and have an argument, you're in a relationship, for example, and when you have an argument, you're obviously not in a I love you kind of frame of mind, right? So you just want to make a point. So the more you make a point, the more miserable you get sometimes, and you end up in a very bad place. And then the person you love is miserable, you are miserable, so there's no point in being right. Sometimes it's just better to maybe just cool down a little bit,
right?
Or say, you know what, it's okay. We're arguing about something, acknowledge that. Right, but don't react with anger. Don't say things that you regret later that you can't take back.
Better to shut up, right? At certain times.
Better to love. Better to show understanding and compassion when you're arguing. And it's something that I could have never done when I was 20. Yeah. Another thing is, I really believe having more and more. It's not in the toolbox of happiness. Because when you have $1 million. Okay, when you have 100,000, next day you have $1 million, you're really happy, right? You're elated. It's the feeling of like, wow, I'm a millionaire, right? So then a year down the road, you're like, 1 million, you want 2 million.
Yeah, so see the prices of houses.
So having more things like internet, when we had broadband, it's like, wow. When we had internet IRC, remember when 10, 15 years ago, we're like, wow, internet. Wow, we were so grateful for that. And now we're like so slower, this Unify.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So having more, if you think that when you have more it equals to happiness, then it's very difficult to be happy.
So you're talking about people having to try and get that balance, yeah? You've got to get that balance in your life, you say?
What I'm saying is that in your toolbox of happiness, you need to have certain things, and having more is not one of them.
Right.
Appreciating things in life is one of them. It sounds cliche, but it's true.
Right. What are some of the things that we take for granted that we should be appreciating that we don't think of?
No traffic jams.
Okay.
The sun. We complain that Malaysia is hot. But our country, it's fine. No natural disasters. When our mom cooks a meal for us, it's our favorite meal, and it's fine. We're quite used to it. We're not like, wow, we don't feel like elated or whatever. But to a person who doesn't have a mother, or
think about that.
Yeah,
home
think about
food,
that. Yeah. So little things. And I'm not talking about general things. I'm talking about things in your life, every day that you experience when you come to work. You're staying in a chair. At the end of the day, right? Even if things get really shit. You have your limbs. You still have your limbs.
Yeah.
You think about things like that, and you go, it's not that life could be better. It's that life could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
It's the mindset. Happiness is all in the mind. Like, you have to decide, you know what, I'd rather be happy than to be depressed.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
What do you think some of the biggest problems plaguing Malaysians are? Malaysians women. Okay, let you speak on behalf of the ladies. Yeah.
Really? Oh, that's a huge pressure.
Yeah. No. What do you think? What do you think some of the big issues are?
Well, I think it's very difficult for a modern woman to find a man they can be with, simply because, I don't know, the whole thing about equality, the irony is that women have become so independent that it's not enough that a man can support you. Some men can't even do that. Salary wise, what if you earn more than a man? Are you okay with that? You're going to deal with issues like that.
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine.
You can bring home the money, baby.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about for the women. Because if the woman can earn enough, can sustain themselves, and they can take care of their own happiness, and they can basically do everything, then why do they need a man in their life?
Yeah.
And it's not enough that a man is funny. They have to be funnier than the girl. It's not enough that they are smart. They have to be smarter than you.
So the question is, do you need a man or do you want a man?
The question is, do you need a man to be happy? Do you want babies? Do you want kids?
They're expensive, man.
Do you have experience?
Well, I have friends who's been complaining.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very expensive, especially in Malaysia.
Yeah.
If you have twins like Sadzi.
Okay, Mariah Carey had twins. What do you think she's going to name her twins?
Oh.
What do you think she should name her twins?
Well, we know it starts with M.
You think so?
Really?
Yeah, it's the first letter is M.
Money.
I don't know, man.
But she's already got a name.
No, we're talking about the babies, not the twins, the babies.
What?
M. It starts with M, so it's something to do with...
Has she given the names already? No.
Not yet.
Okay,
but she's just given the hint so far, it's M.
So what do you think is a good name for her babies?
Money and more.
Money and more.
Accurate.
It goes against everything I've been saying so far.
Yeah. I won't be too far. More money?
Yes, more money.
Good what?
Okay,
You know, like so rich, you can basically look at Gwyneth Paltrow, Apple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and speaking of weddings and babies and so on.
Mine only 2 years time before you ask the question.
What?
I'm only giving birth. I'm only having my first child in 2 years.
Why?
Yeah.
Because I want to enjoy the time with my husband. Yeah.
So you're saying that you won't enjoy your time with the husband when you have a kid?
No, I want to enjoy.
You're
it
terrible
as a couple.
fella.
Yeah. You won't have time. You won't have time. I think that you get very caught up. Come on, even with work, you get caught up. Where do you find time with?
Well,
the
it
other
could be a
person?
whole different experience altogether again.
Yes.
Right?
You need to be in a place where, like, in your relationship is strong enough that when you have a child and you're bound to go through problems or difficulties, right, that you can face, you're in a better place to face them as a team.
Yeah.
I feel for me, I don't speak for other people, but for me, if I'm not ready and we're not strong emotionally as a couple, or we're not in the same wavelength, on the same page, and we have a third factor that comes into our lives, we're going to argue about everything. You know?
See?
Yeah.
All right.
I thought the baby was the decoy.
Was that?
Well, a lot
You know,
of
the
people.
baby is the decoy. You have a problem and so on, then it comes to the kid. No, let's talk
The
about
only
the kid.
way, the only thing that relates to you and baby and decoy is holding the baby in the park and all the girls coming in and say, "Hey, cute baby."
We tried that, it didn't work out.
They're not pets.
There you
okay?
go. No,
I know, it was an old trick. Like, it works for some people.
yeah. What I saw on Oprah. Okay, for what I saw on Oprah this week, you know the story about this girl, and she had parents who were just went off their rockers, and I think it's a whole family, a few of them, about I don't know, one brother and about 4 sisters or something like that. And the father and mother went off the rocker, and they told stories about when they were kids. She had this pet rabbit. And one day, the mother, cooked some dinner at night and all that. The next morning, she asked,
my God.
she was looking for a pet rabbit, couldn't find a pet rabbit, and the mother told her happily, you ate it last night.
Oh,
So imagine that poor girl had to grow up with that kind of a family. So
Yeah, maybe they were desperate. Maybe there was no meat. Maybe there was no food.
No. The mother was,
Sadistic?
yeah, sadistic, a bit off the rocker over there. Yeah.
So how did we get there again?
I don't know. I
I
told you.
don't know. He's a bit off the rocker.
What we saw on Oprah this week.
It was all about Mariah Carey's baby. How did we get here?
Yeah, there you go. Okay, but what about parents and kids these days? Kids in a coffee shop, you look at them sitting down at the table over there.
Coffee shop or cafe?
Cafe, coffee shop,
it's
anywhere.
quite different, no?
Yeah.
150 and 10 ringgit.
Yeah, but
cafes.
The thing that's not very different is you don't see that kids. Everybody sits down and everybody takes out something electronic straight away.
Yes, you could be having dinner or lunch with a group of people and everyone's looking at their phones. It's ironic. It really is.
Okay, what do you think about that? So what's your take?
I
on
think
that?
it's we evolve and that's where we are. At the end of the day, my parents never approved of me reading at the dining table. So it's a habit that I would like to pass on to my kids. It's not so much of anything. It's just manners. And we can get so caught up with electronic devices that we miss out on life. Like we are very busy interacting online, but in real life, when there's a human interaction,
human
right in front
touch
of you,
isn't there
it's
anymore.
not there anymore. But having said that, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the internet. Like it's made my life so much easier, and I'm really grateful for it. But I don't want to be rude. I think the key thing to remember is that when you're doing something, it's that, am I being rude right now? If your phone rings in the middle of a meeting, you pick it up, that's rude.
Yeah.
If you're having lunch with your colleague and he's saying something and you're looking at your phone, that's rude.
Yeah.
So common sense, yeah.
Gadgets. What are the gadgets that you have?
I can't live without my iPhone. Yeah, I'm contemplating switching to Android just to try it out and see how it is.
So it's a must-have, your iPhone. How about your laptops and so on?
5 things you don't leave your home
Mac,
without.
Okay, that's the question.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Mac. So once you go Apple, you never go back. When you go Mac, you never go back.
So what are the 5 things you don't leave home without?
Lipstick, water, my mobile phone, my wallet, and lip balm. Vaseline.
I was actually hoping to say I don't leave home without Yuri, man, but
Hey, Yuri, we're stirring up something here.
You're troublemakers, man. That's what you are.
Okay, stuck on a deserted island. Okay, who'd you want to be with?
My book.
See, Yuri, you're still not there.
We were trying to help you with Yuri.
That was what you wanted me to say. So I want to say it.
All right, no, but what are the things you wish you had with you on a deserted island? That old cliche question. Come on.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, right now I read on my iPhone. All my books are there.
Okay.
So, but the thing is, if you're on a deserted island, there's no plug point to charge your freaking phone.
Okay.
So that defeats the whole purpose. I can't bring a whole library with me.
So what you gonna bring?
Oh, if I want ice cream,
Uh-huh.
I want my books, ideally. Ice cream, books, my husband, I have to say that.
No choice.
What would be what would the title of your book be if you were writing over there?
If I was writing,
if you were-
I don't want to write.
No, I mean if you're stuck, like what's that guy, Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
In that movie Bigger. What was that?
I don't know. Something
Deserted.
Oh.
What?
Something-
Marooned.
Castaway.
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 Yeah.
I'll write about how desperate I am for someone to save me. Please come.
Okay.
Please come.
Would
It'll
your
be
title?
prayers.
Would your title be prayers or title?
No, it'll be like, if I live to tell this tale. ...
When do you say prayers the most?
Sorry?
When do you say your prayers the most?
Oh, I say
On
when
an
I
aeroplane.
need. I it's
Yeah.
really bad, but I actually pray a lot when I need something.
Yeah.
Oh, please, God, let this happen. Please, please, please.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the only time I need you. Why else do I need you, man?
Exam halls and aeroplanes, the places when God hears the most prayers.
Oh,
Exactly.
thank God I don't take exams anymore.
There you go. Yeah.
Exam halls? Nah.
No, like, don't
mine
use-
mine was the
use
dice
up.
and the guy next beside me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy beside me,
yeah.
I was just praying for him.
Yeah.
Don't use up your
Oh,
prayers on
he
exams.
gets a 5 for that.
All right, and
What else? Anything else you want to tell us about? What can we look forward with Xandria? I mean, what's going to be happening with you in the next couple of months? Where can people, find out more about you, read more about you?
Well, I think what's really exciting right now is just looking forward to Discover Perak being on AFC. And
Okay.
just seeing how it looks on TV. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, why am I even interesting? I'm not even sure.
When did you say that it's going to be out?
It's
August.
probably going to be during or after Merdeka.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it's after Ramadan. Because there's a lot of food there. So Yes,
exactly.
yes,
So for
yes.
the fans of AFC, do check it out.
That's right.
Wow, we have a really long fingernail.
Oh yeah,
Last
it's a bad
finger.
habit.
Yeah.
A habit I had since a kid. Superstitious.
Okay. Well, that's